Good morning, I'm Peter Milios from the Finance News Network. A surge in the Nvidia share price and weak labour market data pushed the broad S&P 500 index to a new record close. The S&P 500 rose 1.18% to close at a new record. The tech-heavy Nasdaq rallied 1.96% to a new record close. The Dow Jones closed 0.25% higher. AI giant Nvidia dominated the headlines again as the stock surged 5% to hit a new record close. The company also hit a $3 trillion market cap. Investors continued to chase the stock after the company unveiled its new line of chips earlier in the week. Tech giant Meta Platforms also contributed to the record close, finishing 3.8% higher for the day. In other company news, Hewlett-Packard traded up more than 10% after reporting fiscal second quarter revenue that beat consensus expectations. CrowdStrike jumped 12% on stronger than expected earnings and guidance. On the macro front, private payroll data showed hiring has slowed further, with 152,000 jobs added last month versus expectations of 175,000 according to Dow Jones. Another data pointing to weakness in the labour market raised investor hopes further that the Federal Reserve is seeing enough evidence to cut benchmark interest rates. The yield on the US 10-year note fell back below 4.3%. Fed funds futures trading now suggests a roughly 70% chance that central bank policymakers will ease back from the current target rate of 5.25% and 5.5% in September, according to the CME FedWatch tool. Attention will now turn to the weekly jobless claims numbers on Thursday and Friday's all-important May jobs report. The May jobs report will be the most important data for the week for the markets. The Dow Jones reported it is expecting 190,000 jobs to be added in May, up from 175,000 in April. Turning to US sectors, technology was the best performer, closing up 2.68% for the day. The worst performer was utilities, which closed 0.58% lower. The Bank of Canada added to the growing investor confidence that the Fed is getting close to a cutting cycle after it announced its first rate cut since 2020, as Canadian officials look increasingly confident that they have control over inflation. Officials say they're more confident that inflation is headed to 2% to the 2% target, and said it's reasonable to expect further cuts if progress continues. Looking ahead to the Australian landscape, the SPI futures are pointing to a 0.5% gain. Thank you for listening.